The wind whispers through Yellowstone, vast and untamed. A land where every sound once told a story, where the echo of wolves shaped the rhythm of life. But now, only silence drifts through the valleys. It is a quiet that remembers, holding the
For decades, the wilderness carried an emptiness. Rivers ran wild, elk grazed without fear. And yet, something was missing. The balance of nature broken by the absence of its silent hunters. Now, the wind carries new steps.
Once, humans feared the wolves and drove them away, believing the land would be safer without them. But nature had other plans. Without its guardians, Yellowstone began to fade. Rivers unraveled, forests thinned, and the balance faltered, until the howl returned.
Without wolves, the trees along the rivers grew thick. Elk roamed endlessly, devouring the tender shoots. And even the rivers began to wander from their beds, as if the land itself mourned their loss.
Then came a moment of courage and faith. In the early 90s, scientists and dreamers decided to bring the wolves home, to heal the heart of Yellowstone. With every cautious step into the wild, hope returned, and in their song, the land began to breathe again.
From far northern forests, the wolves were carefully chosen, strong, intelligent, and wild. Their journey would be the beginning of something extraordinary.
Crates opened on frozen ground, snow stirring like breath. They stepped out carefully, eyes bright with wonder. Paws pressed into the soil of their ancestors, feeling the weight of a land that had waited for them.
As night fell, their first howls pierced the cold air, rising across the mountains, carrying with them a promise the wilderness would live again.
Moving in silence through the valleys, they map each ridge and hollow, pressing paws to frosted grass, noses to the wind. A scrape of earth, a scent left behind, the ancient language of claim and belonging. Instinct guides them, unforgotten and
Packs are families, bound by loyalty and forged in the work of survival. Each one carries a task: hunter, scout, guardian, teacher. Together they move with the land, breathing in its cold, following the pulse of its prey. Through them, the soil learns to beat again.
They hunted with precision. Elk learned fear once more, and the balance began to return as nature remembered its forgotten heartbeat. In the quiet after the chase, the land breathed again.
Once the banks were stripped to stone and silence, but water kept whispering. In time, roots found the courage to take hold. Willows unfurled, aspens rose like pale green torches, and the songbirds returned, threading the air.
When we first tracked them here, we expected predators. But we watched the river shift, willows return, songbirds nest, and beavers build again. The wolves weren't destroying anything. They were healing. Their presence rewove the threads of this valley, and we were left.
The wolves changed everything. Not just the herds, but the rivers themselves. Channels stabilized, fish returned, and life rippled outward like a living miracle.
In their eyes shone intelligence and grace, reminders that wildness is not chaos, but harmony. Nature's own law, written in fur and fang.
For generations, fear kept us apart. When a shadow crossed the pasture, we barred the doors and held our breath. But slowly, we began to watch, truly watch, and learned the wolf was more neighbor than nightmare. Curiosity softened our caution.
Out there, past the last pine, the wind sings through the canyons and the brave walk alone. Yet even the bravest listen, for the wild carries its own wisdom.
Like the wolves?
Just like the wolves, their call reminds the heart to be strong.
They came from oceans away, and from the next county over, following whispers of a miracle. The stories said wolves ran here again, as they once had, wild, unbound. And when dawn spilled gold across Yellowstone,
winter snow glittered beneath the moonlight, and the packs moved in perfect silence, every step a dance between survival and serenity. Breath rose like smoke from hidden fires, paws stitched careful stories into the untouched white. The world held its breath, listening.
Through summer's heat and blizzard's bite, they thrive together. Strong through unity, fierce through love, each generation carrying the legacy forward.
Legends grew around them. A lone wolf,
standing against the odds. A matriarch, leading her family through storms and hunger. Stories of devotion, written in the snow. And still, they endure.
Every howl became a chapter of Yellowstone's rebirth. A sound both fierce and beautiful, echoing through time and memory.
The rivers ran clearer, the forest stood taller, and even the sky seemed brighter as the land embraced its long, lost children once again. In the quiet, all they could hear was welcome.
Visitors who glimpsed the wolf felt something ancient awaken within them. An awe, a reverence, a connection to the wild that words cannot capture.
The wolves taught patience. In the stillness of snow and the long wait for the right moment, they reminded us that strength is quiet. They taught respect, sharing the valley with the elk, taking only what the pack needs. At the edge of the evening light, they showed that balance is...
As the sun dipped behind the mountains, the howls carried across the valleys, the song of a healed world, resonating through every living thing.
Night fell and the stars spilled across the heavens, scattering their silver echo on the ridge. The pack gathered close, fur stirring in the quiet wind, their eyes catching the light of 1,000 forgotten stories. In that stillness, the earth's...
They had returned not as conquerors, but as caretakers, restoring what was broken, lifting seedlings from the cracks, guiding the wandering and the wild home again. Among ruins, they planted, mended, and listened, reminding humanity of its place within the web of life.
Their howls fade into the wind, yet their spirit remains. In every leaf that trembles, every river that flows, and every heartbeat of the wild.
Stone breathes again. The wolves have returned, and with them the promise that life can heal, that nature endures, and that hope never dies.